Hello, this is my artifact analysis presentation for MAE 670. My name is Amanda Cochran, and this is for my National University Applied Practitioner Researcher class with Professor Fan. So a little bit about me. I have a bachelor's degree in history. I got it from Cal State Fresno. I was a substitute teacher, a special education paraprofessional for Clovis Unified. I was also a special education mild moderate. I earned a mild moderate credential from Fresno Pacific University. And I've been working as a mild moderate special education teacher for 7th and 8th grade in Madera Unified from 2019 to present. And I'm hoping to earn my Master's of Education with emphasis in SEL right now. So here's my plan of study. I decided to do my master's in social emotional learning. And I was able to do 3 of those classes: Introduction to SEL, SEL in Action, and Research in SEL. And then I was able to use for 3 classes, my clear credential induction that I did through Madera Unified. I also chose to do a special topics class with Dr. Reynolds, and I focused on supporting students with who are at risk of like failing out of school and how social emotional lessons can support them. And then I also did the certificate of online teaching modules to fulfill 2 of my classes. And then, of course, my last class was the applied practitioner research class. So my first artifact is the Source Practitioner Research Study Review. This was from MAE 610 with Professor Pham. And I created a research question related to social emotional learning, so I can explore the relationship between learning-based teaching of social emotional learning and pro-social behavior. And at this point, I was focusing on special education learners at the middle school level. And this satisfies my PLO3 because I conducted research on the impact of SEL on classroom behavior. And so this was my artifact, which was a research paper. And then there's my my research question. For my second artifact, I took this from my Intro to SEL ITI 670 with Professor Karam. And for this class, I did a sort of an overview or social emotional learning presentation. And I decided that this was PLO1 and PLO4 because I created a Google slide presentation. I examined and presented introductory information about social emotional learning. I created instruction using digital tools, which is PLO1, and I included a reflection that I did on teachers as agents of change module. And so this helped me to satisfy PLO4 because I was able to reflect on my knowledge and use of cultural responsive pedagogy. And I would say that this one was an introduced. So you'll see the slides representing the intro to SEL and then the cultural responsive pedagogy. Okay. For my next artifact, this is a social emotional toolkit that I did in my class SEL in Action, ITI 672 with Professor Renner. This one I would say is more developed, and this toolkit was designed to support teachers and students with different SEL brain breaks, warm-ups, icebreakers, and community building exercises. It demonstrates PLO2 because it included designing learning experiences that included learning characteristics. And I included various types of differentiation with the tasks. So some of the writing assignments included sentence frames. And this shows PLO1 because it provides evidence of using digital tools integrated into instruction. For my next artifact, I did for research in SEL or ITI 674, Professor Burley. I did a research on trauma-informed practices. So we were to explore a framework and do research. I chose to focus on trauma-informed practices. This demonstrated my use of applying practitioner research methods to study and inform instruction in traditional and digital learning environments. And I was able to identify different research-based methods for providing TIP in the classroom setting. So it was really interesting, and I really liked the way I was able to learn about the multi-tier system of supports for TIP. For POS 4, 5, and 6, I included my PLE induction program. And so this I did a few years back. This was part of my district's to get a clear credential. So I completed I believe I completed it in 2019, but I was able to use the national, I'm sorry, 2021. I selected this artifact because it's a reflective piece that I worked on throughout the year. I worked with a mentor teacher who supported me with goal setting, journaling, data collection, analysis, which shows PLO2. I also consistently differentiated instruction as a special education teacher, so it satisfies PLO2 and allowed me to reflect on my growth as a teacher and consider where I would like to improve. So I was able to look at assessment results for my students, focus on teacher growth, and then set goals and where I wanted to be in the next few years. This is from MAE 691, which is special topics with Dr. Reynolds. The artifact I chose is assessment of learning, social emotional lesson to support at-risk youth. And this was PLO 1. For this assignment, I focused on assessment of student learning. I created a rubric with detailed guidelines for writing expectations. I also created a Google form quiz to help students learn new vocabulary relating to goal setting and social emotional learning. This assignment used Google Suite Learning Management System, so it can be easily taught in person or online. And I would say that I mastered this topic. Okay. For POS 8, I did the West Certificate of Online Teaching, and my artifact is a classroom website. For this assignment, I integrated advanced approaches to instruction, assessment, and learning using digital tools and skills. I chose this website. I used creating Google Sites and allowed me to practice using technology and include links to digital tools and the learning management system of Google Classroom. I learned how to create Zoom recordings, YouTube videos, and many ways to support students by integrating advanced approaches to instructions. I taught distance learning during COVID, so I was able to practice a lot of this, but I really wish I would have known about like creating a teacher website at that time because that would have been very useful. So I had like introduction videos. I even created a meme. So it was a really interesting modules, the COT program, because you could refine your technology skills and digital skills. So I also chose another artifact. This was an asynchronous lesson on citing textual evidence. And I chose this as PLO 2 because I created a YouTube video for students to walk through a lesson step by step on citing textual evidence for an explanatory essay. And this demonstrates my ability to design learning experiences that include learner characteristics and principles of customized learning because this provided visual and auditory support for student learning. So it's sort of like providing a scaffold. So if students forget a task, they can go back and watch the video that I created to help support them. And this was what it looked like. Okay. And then my artifact for my practitioner research proposal was from this class, MAE 670. And so for this assignment, I refined my research from MAE 610 and 674, ITI 674. I focused on exploring the relationship between the implementation of cooperative learning-based teaching of social emotional learning and measures of pro-social behavior for students at the secondary school level. This applies to PLO 3 because the assignment was based on conducting research on 5 similar studies. It also applies to PLO 4 because I was able to reflect on the research and need for further study. I established a proposal that included participants, methods, measures, and data analysis. This project allowed me to reflect on how this style of research can be used in my classroom to improve my teaching practice. So I initially started with focusing on special education students, but after doing some research, I found there wasn't enough data to find studies that really connected SEL and special education. So I did decide to broaden my search and just make it secondary. But a lot of these lessons and um, definitely can be differentiated for students on IEPs and whatnot, and especially like SEL writing concepts um, can be scaffolded using graphic organizers and whatnot. So that's my presentation. This program has been really great. I've learned a lot, and just talking with a lot of my colleagues and peers. I've already been able to use a lot of the SEL lessons and methods that I've come across in this program to just help support myself as a teacher and my colleagues. And I've been able to use some of it during my PBIS meetings or positive behavior intervention and supports. And so it's just been a really great program and I've really enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching.